money too. And they'll tell Bill Maher how to spend his money. And I tell you right now, Bill Maher is not the type of person that wants anybody telling him what to do. He's an atheist. He doesn't even want God telling him what to do, let alone a socialist telling him what to do, especially how to spend his own money. I'm telling you right now.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not living in communist America. I mean, I know the talking point is that, well, it's not communism, it's socialism. Okay, I've read the quotes from the DSA platform, from their own mouths. Don't tell me I'm not seeing what I am seeing. And DSA, again, they
don't tell me what I'm not seeing. I mean, it is collapsing. The Democrat Party right now is on the verge of total collapse. And that's the reason why Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries, and the rest of them, they're highly upset with this. And you can tell. But they're not going to come out and publicly saying that they're against the socialists, because they're actually socialists themselves. They just don't want the public to know that they're socialists, because no one in their right mind is going to go with it. Again, the key thing there is no one in their right mind. That's the key thing. And the socialists, of course, they call us fascists. They try to say that we are everything that they actually are. How many fascists do you know that showed President Trump's speech from last week? How many fascists? Because every single Republican media outlet showed President Trump's speech. If you're a fascist, you're not going to show that speech because you want to hinder free speech. You want to prevent people from hearing the truth. You want to prevent people from knowing the truth. And that's exactly what the actual fascists did this past week when it came to President Trump. Let me give you an example of talking about a fascist calling us this when they are that very thing themselves. Some things you just can't make up.
To fight back against this fascist regime, we need to be in the streets, wisely using our wallets, battling in the courts, and winning at the ballot box, the center of our democracy.
So let me ask y'all a question. When he's saying that they need to take it to the streets, what do you think he's referring to? Do you think when he says take it to the streets, and this is not a new clip, I just want to make sure y'all know this. It's not an absolutely new clip. It's fairly recent, but not new. When he says take it to the streets, what do you think he's referring to? Do you think they say, okay, we're just going to take it to the streets and we'll just peacefully protest? No. How many times have y'all known for socialists to peacefully protest? The whole BLM movement is a socialist agenda. BLM is a socialist group. They did not want to peacefully protest. They believe in tearing down the economy. They believe in tearing down the United States of America. Nothing about them was for America. They don't care about this country. And now they have Bernie Sanders. He's floating on cloud 19 right now because for him, he's like, oh my goodness, we actually have an opportunity for us to do something in this country, to have socialism come into play. And Bernie Sanders getting up there in his age. It'd be one of the greatest things that he's ever done in his mind if he can get this country to become a socialist country, meaning the downfall of the United States of America. That's the goal that they want, the downfall of America. I don't know about you. I refuse to live in bondage with these hateful, demonic Democrats because that's what they want. See, they're used to putting people in bondage. This is something that they did before the first Civil War. They had many people of color in bondage, and it's nothing new. It's another tactic that something that they love to do. They want to have us in bondage. And this time they don't care about the color. They don't care what color you are. They want to put everybody in bondage because socialism doesn't care. Socialism wants to put everybody under them, under their rule. They tell you what to think. And then on top of that, like I just mentioned, Bill Maher, I don't know what his net income is, but I'm going to let him here and say that he's a millionaire. Bernie Sanders, he was always against the millionaires and billionaires. until he became a millionaire. And now it's the billionaires and trillionaires. You got to go after them, not the millionaires any longer, because, Bernie Sanders are like, yeah, we're going to go after you, but not after me.
And I'll tell you what else people are sick and tired of. They are sick and tired of wealthy campaign contributors determining who the candidates of the Democratic Party will be. So I say to the Democratic leadership, get your super PACs out of these primaries and let the people decide who their candidate will be. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, change is coming. And that is why progressives have been defeating establishment candidates all across America.
You notice he didn't say socialists has been defeating establishment Democrats across the country. He said progressives, which in turn actually means that these progressives are actually socialists. I don't know why they just don't come out and say socialism, socialism, socialism. Why not? Mamdani did it in New York, and look where that got him. The stupid people in New York voted for it. Stupid liberals. And now they're having to foot the bill for all of the crap that he's wanting to do. But the media, the main liberal stream media, they don't want to talk about it. They want to act like, oh, everything is fine and dandy in New York. Now that the New York Stock Exchange is basically moving to Dallas, and these companies, once they stop trading in New York and start trading in Dallas, New York is going to completely crumble. It's going to be like Escape from New York, just like the movie Escape from New York. I can see that taking place. And of course, when that happens, these Democrats are going to be like, oh my goodness, this is unbelievable that this is actually happening this way. Another one who's a minion of Bernie Sanders, talking about socialism, is AOC. AOC is another one. But she reminds me of Hillary Rodham Clinton. When Hillary Rodham Clinton would go stand before black people or go to a southern state, all of a sudden her dialogue changes. The way she sounded before when she was in New York completely changed. AOC is nothing. She talks nothing like the South. But what is it that fixed their minds when they get in front of black people or get in the South that they have to change the way they talk? I don't understand. That is a socialist tactic. Fool people, trick people into believing that they are on the same side. We're here for y'all. Because remember, they're going to put y'all back in chains. Y'all remember that?
We cannot afford to leave Tennessee behind. We cannot afford to leave Kentucky behind, Alabama behind, Mississippi behind, Georgia behind, South Carolina behind.
Can't afford. I mean, dude, has anyone ever wondered why they think that is okay? Has anyone ever told them, saying, that's really not okay when you decide to get a different dialect there? Has no one ever told them that? I wonder if anyone's ever told Hillary Rodham Clinton, you probably shouldn't do that. You know why they continue to do it? Because the stupid black people that are sitting in the audience hear them talking this way, and they're too dumb to realize that they're being talked to that way. I don't understand. They should be insulted. I mean, they've seen AOC enough to know that she doesn't talk that way. They've seen Hillary Rodham Clinton enough to know that she doesn't talk that way. They've seen Al Gore and the rest of these Democrats to know that they don't talk that way until they get in front of them. This is socialism. Socialism is the rejection of God, the rejection of reality, and to have people believe everything that is evil and stupid under the sun. And they don't have issues trying to convince people of that very thing. And again, they all hate capitalism. Every last one of them. Capitalism is one of the biggest problems for the Democrats, the socialist Democrats. Why? Because it means that you can have personal wealth. That means they can't control you. That means the government can't tell you how to live. The government shouldn't be telling you how to live. The purpose of the federal government, or any government, even a state local government, is to make sure that you retain your rights. But the Democrats have a different opinion about that. They want to take your rights away. You don't have the rights to make money. You don't have the rights to work hard day in and day out, become successful, become a millionaire, billionaire, or even a trillionaire, because they have decided what to do with your hard earnings. These people are blatantly.
Do you like capitalism?
No, I have many critiques of capitalism.
Capitalism as we know it doesn't work.
Capitalism isn't, to me, it's an ideology of capital. And to me, that ideology is not sustainable and cannot be redeemed.
That's been the only thing that has been keeping the United States of America thriving better than any other nation across the planet, ever. This is a God-blessed nation. And capitalism has proven itself time and time again. And they want to tear it down. They want to eliminate it. I don't get it. Why would someone in their right mind support this crap? We should not be penalized for working hard. We should be rewarded. And that's what socialism gets you. The Communist Democrat Party of America, they want people to believe that the socialists will make everything better, make everything easier. And this is part of the reason why they don't want President Trump to be successful in anything that he does. Because if President Trump is successful, that means capitalism is successful. That's the very reason why they're against President Trump when it comes to Iran. And President Trump has been hammering them. If President Trump is not successful, that means the Democrats get to come in and say, oh, look at this. We'll make everything better. We'll make sure that Iran get a nuke. We'll make everything better by eliminating people on the planet that should not be here. That's the motto of these communist Democrats. That's not the motto of Maga Republican, those that love America. We want to be left alone. We want our children to be left alone. Now, I want to touch on this really quick. Because of 2020, apparently, because of President Donald J. Trump, is all back in the news. The 2020 is back in the news. And of course, these radical leftist lunatic liberals, they don't want to acknowledge any of it. They don't want to acknowledge any of the stuff that President Trump has been talking about. And they want to act like, oh my goodness, how dare you? How dare you? You're going to make things look bad. None of it's been proven. When all of it's been proven, but none of it's been proven. If you listen to the left, they'll tell you that nothing bad happened during 2020. But it was something bad that happened during 2016, but not 2020. And the biggest thing that gets me is they go, well, who was president in 2020? Who was president? Who was president? Doesn't it fall on him? Isn't it his fault? Not when you have people, the deep state, this shadow government, undermining everything. That's the part that they keep leaving out. Why is that? Why is that?
No idea to register to vote. Is this something that Democrats should get behind?
We have very
80-some% of Americans, 71% of Democrats say they favor this.
You know what? In Virginia, we have voter ID and photo ID. I got to show my...
That's actually not the case. I mean, I'm a Virginia voter. You don't need to show a photo ID in Virginia. There are a wide range of things you can show for ID. And if you don't show one of those, you can sign an affidavit saying
sign an
attesting.
affidavit,
But so it's not required.
Those become ballots that if you want to contest later can be contested. But you do have a variety of documents. But we have voter ID of one form or another.
But should that be a national standard?
This shocked me a little bit because here you have this leftist on ABC actually in support of a voter ID. What's wrong with this picture? See, majority of the people in the United States of America wants voter ID because they just want to say, look, we all have them already. I mean, majority of the people on the left are saying we already have them. But the idiots on the left that are saying no to it, because the idiots on Capitol Hill saying, no, you can't do it because you won't be able to vote if you're a woman or if you're a person of color. It's only been the left. The history in the United States of America has only been those on the left that wanted to prevent anybody from voting, prevent women from voting, prevent black people from voting. It's only been the left that's ever done that.
You have to show an ID?
The irony here would be the case. If you can show any photo that is government stamped, would be fine. Certain states will say, we're going to let you show your NRA gun license, but you can't show your student ID. If you're going to have...
Let me ask y'all a question, because y'all going to have to help me out. I've never known for them to say that you can just show your NRA ID and you can vote. Has that ever happened? Maybe y'all live in a state where, yes, Will Johnson, I can take my NRA ID. I can take my Kroger's ID. I can take just make up something here. I can take my student ID. I can take any ID. I can take an ID that I just printed out that morning and use that. Is there a state where you can take your NRA ID and vote with it? I've never heard of such a thing. See, this is what the Democrats do. They're speculating. He's lying. I've never heard of such a thing. Every time I've gone to the poll, I've lived in California, I lived in Arkansas, and I lived in Texas. That's the only 3 states that I've ever voted in. But when I voted, it's my ID, except for California. You know, they don't even ask for ID. Even when I was there before they passed a law saying that it's against the law to ask for an ID. It's against the law. So meaning that you can take multiple ballots to different locations and you can't ask anybody for their ID and they just accept the ballot. So there's no checking on the front end of it. And they mail out ballots to everybody. Still, I'm in Texas over 7 years and still receiving ballots here for California in Texas. 7 years later. Make that make sense. So if I don't have to show an ID or anything, what's to say I didn't fill it out and send it in? No one's going to verify the ID. All they're going to do is accept it, especially if it's one that's leaning the way that they want it to lean. There's a major problem with this. The SAVE Act is something that absolutely needs to be pushed and it needs to be passed, because if it's not, the Democrats are going to be in a position where they can do serious damage to this country. Let me bring something to your attention really quick, too. Let me bring something to your attention. The Democrats are kicking and screaming right now because President Trump and the Republicans are saying pass the Save America Act. The Democrats, of course, they hate that name already because they don't want to save America. But if nothing happened in 2020, if everything was on the up and up in 2020, and President Trump says he wants to do an investigation of what took place in 2020, why are the Democrats not saying, go ahead? You're going to find the same thing that we already know. You lost. Say that. Just say that. Why are they so concerned about President Trump looking what's up under the carpet? Why are they so concerned that President Trump asking law enforcement that doesn't have an agenda to look up the information? Why are they so concerned about that? Why are they so like, oh my goodness, he's actually going to look into this? This needs to be water under the bridge, President Trump. Let it go. Let it go. It's like this, and I gave the analogy somewhat like this last week. If you commit a crime and you got away with the crime, and then something comes up and say, oh, wait a minute, there's actual proof that a crime took place. But you've been over here talking with the media, and the media's been on your side and like, oh, well, you know, there's no crime. There's nothing ever happened. And of course, this is what they're going to say. But then this comes up and said, wait a minute. Shouldn't we look into this? Because this is something extremely important, like our elections. Why not? They're willing to spend 42, 43, 40 plus million dollars on a Russia collusion delusion, a Russia hoax, 40 plus million dollars. They were willing to spend it. They knew there was nothing there. They knew there was nothing there. They went to the FISA courts knowing that it was a lie. They knew. And they allowed all that money to be spent. So I think it's okay if President Trump DOJ is going to spend millions of dollars to get down to the truth of 2020. And let's just say President Trump goes and says, okay, we did an investigation. We looked at it. And yes, Joe Biden, first time in history, got more than any president ever in the history of this nation. And President Trump goes, yeah, you know, the deal just say, Mr. President, this is our finding. This is what happened. All the stuff that you saw, that didn't happen. Boxes coming from up under the tables, that didn't happen. They shut the counting down to come back up, all the counting has changed. That didn't happen. You know, none of that happened. We're supposed to not pay attention to any of that because according to the left, none of that happened. So it needs to be addressed. But the new tactic from the left is trying to say that now white men are going to show up at the voting polls, the voting booth, armed. This is what they're saying. Now, look, the only time I've ever seen white people, white men specifically, showing up to the voting booth armed to a teeth, preventing people from voting, was when the Democrats were trying to prevent both white and black Republicans from voting. That's the only time it happened. And of course, guess what? The power that be saying, nope, they get to do it because they get to do this. No one was stopping them at the time, for the most part, because they were able to get away with it. They were actually taking the lives of white and black people when they found out that they voted for the Republicans. When they found out they were voting for the Republicans. But again, now their objective is to do fear-mongering, have people believe that President Trump is going to send white men to the voting booth.
But again, Trump is excellent at creating fear and red herrings to distract the American public.
Are you scared to vote?
If there are,
you scared?
If there are armed, if there are armed police, police, if there are armed groups, yes, it is scary for people to vote.
Are you scared to vote?
There is a history
of
intimidation in our country.
Hold on, you know what? No, I've voted multiple times, and there's been police officers there with a sidearm, police officers there armed to a teeth. I've seen it multiple times, and not a single time, me as a black man walking into to vote, not a single time did I feel intimidated. And this is before, mind you, this is before I even started talking about politics, started talking about religion publicly. This is years before that. There was police officers there. Oh, okay. He's making sure no one's going to get out of hand. That's my thinking. Not a single time did they come up to me and said, Will Johnson, you're the wrong complexion voting in this election, so we're going to have to put you at the back of the line, and you might or might not be able to get in. I'm just letting you know now. You're going to have to wait over here. That's never happened. But according to the left, that's what this is all about. They're evil.
So the answer is no, you're not scared.
Okay, so as a Muslim woman with brown skin and a black family, absolutely, Trump has created an intimidating environment for me.
You're scared to vote.
For me and my family. If you needed to hear that,
no, I'm asking you if you're scared to vote, because I don't think that is.
I'm telling you, yes, there is fear.
A majority of Democrats didn't think that in 2018.
And that's my point.
Or
is
2022.
We've seen an increase of voter participation, despite the fact that we're being told that all of these things are happening at the ballot box.
That may be your experience, but that's not the majority experience. Based on the voting results.
You are.
Exactly. Where are all the videos of black people saying, oh, I was turned away because of my color? There's not a single video of a black person in the year 2026, 2024, 2020, 2016, 2018, going into this year, not a single black person, a video saying that I was turned away because of my color. Not a single one. Or my religion. There are no videos of it. Because if there was videos of it, the Communist News Network, MSDNC, every last one of them would be showing it 24/7. Let me remind you, here's one right here. We'll be right back.
Remember when you were younger and you used to hear stories, whether it be in Greek mythology or whatever, about the fountain of youth, people constantly looking for something out there that would help them live forever or live longer? Well, kind of got something like that with Fatty 15, and it's not mythological. No, Fatty 15, this is an empty jar right here, but that's your size that you get. That's a 1 month supply. You get a 3 month supply on this deal. Fatty 15 contains something called C15. If you don't know what that is, it's an essential fatty acid that is necessary for your body's cellular generation, meaning that if you have any damaged cells, it will repair them. It'll also change the way your cells age and you will live longer. C15 does exactly that. Again, if you don't know what C15 is, definitely do some research, but it's Fatty 15, and in each and every one of these capsules that you get in Fatty 15, you're going to elevate your cells, you're going to repair your cells, and you're going to live longer. That's what it does. It slows down your aging process for healthier hair, healthier skin, balanced metabolism, deeper sleep, and 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 fish oils. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Save 15% now. That's fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Thank you very much. Back to the program.
Like, I want to fight them. I think
fight them?
Yeah. Like if Stephen Miller would agree, or one of the Trump children, or like anybody in the administration, I want to fight them.
God, you know what? That I would go pay to see on the White House lawn.
That's what I'm saying.
In a UFC.
Why are we doing the UFC event? Why don't we just settle some political beef? I'll take anybody in the White. I boxed for 4 years, and if they want to, I'd get back into training camp, get in the best shape of my life, and go fight one of them.
I would do it too.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. There's so many people that would do it.
You know, a couple months ago, or actually a couple years even, right after the 2024 election, because I saw the division that the left is pushing, I said, how about we just get boxing gloves? Those on the right would wear red boxing gloves. Those on the left wear blue boxing gloves. And we just go out and box it out. How about we just do that, right? Let's just box it out. And my thing is not just in a ring, a closed ring. How about we go to a big open field? A big open field, and we'll have Republicans and Democrats face off each other with boxing gloves on. Boxing gloves. I mean, I've been saying this, and I'll take the challenge. I take the challenge. I will show up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make a date and let's make it happen. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of us, influencers, those of us that are on the right, that is willing to take the challenge. Because these people need a good butt whooping. Because they've done so much damage to this country. They lied so much. Like, here's another example of what I'm talking about. Right here. He did say he went through a lot of training. Okay, so I want to show you some of that training. Y'all ready? I want to show you some of the training that he went through. Because we have to take his word for it, right? Right? Have to take his word for it. Because he said he went through all this training. This is him right here going through all this training that he went through. Because he wanted to make sure that people understood that, hey, he was there and he did all this training. He did all this training, making sure that he was ready for it. And he'd go back into it. Dude, you gotta love, okay, it's AI. Disclaimer, it's AI, but you gotta love it. Oh my goodness. I saw this, I said, I have to share. That's pretty much it. I'll tell you, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But I want to play something else for you. Here's another one. Here's another one with Don Sourpuss Lemon, where he's actually having a conversation and talking about MAGA Republicans. Let me ask y'all before I play this video. Do you think when President Trump is done, because personally, I would like to see President Trump for another 4 years. That's just my personal thing. But I truly believe that after these 4 years, President Trump is going to say, I've done all that I can do. I'm passing the mantle. It's on to you now. Here, I'm passing it on. It's time for you to take what I've done and make it greater. That's President Trump's main goal, make the nation great. But I believe, and I know make MAGA will still remain, because MAGA is actually bigger than President Trump. MAGA is a lot bigger than President Trump, because America was here before all of us and America will be here after us, permitting that we do our part in keeping our republic. The Democrats are trying to get rid of it. And the fact that they're saying that MAGA will no longer exist, they're simply saying that America will no longer exist. And he doesn't care about it. He doesn't care who knows. And he doesn't care that we are up on with this socialist agenda that they're pushing. This, for them, this is what this is all about. Destroy America.
That once Donald Trump is gone, it's the end of MAGA. I don't know if it's the end of that sort of attitude. I mean, the MAGA is the closest thing to the modern version of a Nazi party. This is America.
Are you hearing this? And see, where do they think this type of rhetoric is going to lead to? See, they say that we're like the closest thing to the Nazi party, but then that means that they're saying that President Trump is the closest thing to like Hitler. So what does that mean? That means these people on the left, these socialists, these communists are going to act out and be violent. That's exactly what it means.
His version, it's the closest thing without the Holocaust and all that stuff. That sort of mindset. That's what MAGA is, because most intelligent people or logical people, when they get new information, and if that information is negative or not factual, then they change their minds with, they go, oh, well, I wish I had known better. And now that I have this information, then I can readjust. No matter.
You notice he doesn't ever give any examples of what he's referring to. What is he talking about? He's talking out the side of his neck. He just saying, you know, they find out information. And, oh my goodness, what information are you talking about? How about we find out the information about a man in a dress that you've been calling a woman all this time? Oh, it's a man talking about information like that. You know, as soon as they find out or they know, they still reject the truth of the matter. They don't have any room to come tell us what is factual and what's not factual when they believe that nonsense. They don't have any room to do it. They have no credibility.
No matter how many facts and how much information you give them about this presidency, about the policies, they don't change their minds, because they're really not voting for the price of eggs. They're voting for white supremacy. They're voting for power. They're voting to have a preeminent voice. They're afraid of, they've been co-opted by many people in the Republican Party and Donald Trump to think that their failures are due to something else, the other, the black person, the woman, the Latino, the immigrant, the migrant. That person is taking your job. That person is the reason that you don't have the financial or career success that you think that you should have. It's because of them. We want to take our country back. That's what MAGA is.
Y'all see this? Oh, wow, I get a hiccup. Must be the liberal. Y'all see this? Does any of that make any sense? But see, that's what they do all the time. If y'all ever turn on the telly and you just listen to these people, they make these stupid blanket lies, these statements, right? Without any evidence of anything. This is just, and basically what it comes down to, they're telling people how they feel about President Trump. And they want people to feel the same way they do about President Trump. They want people to feel the same way they do about America. They want people to feel that the lies that they're telling, that they're real. They want people to feel the reality that we live in is not actually reality. And as I mentioned before, they say all of these lies, knowing good and well that it's going to lead to more violence from the left. Can I get a show of hands of how many people will acknowledge the violence that we see in the United States of America? 90% of it, the high 90s% of it comes from those on the left. Can we be honest about it? Can we be honest? When the left finds out, and let's say you're gainfully employed somewhere, and the liberals at your job find out that you are a Trump supporter, you know what they do? They come back and look, these employees or these colleagues that you've had for many years, they love the work, they love your performance, they love the fact that you were there for them all the time. They love all of that, but then as soon as they find out that you supported President Trump, you voted for President Trump, all of a sudden, you become an issue. In their minds, they go, well, we're going to have to let you go because we feel that with you here is not a safe environment. And it's not because you're the one that's being violent. It's not because you're the one that's been calling for anything violent. It's not because you've done anything wrong. It's simply because you support a president that they don't like. And they are the ones that's feeling violent. And because they feel violent, now they have taken it upon themselves to say, you have to go before I do something violent to you. This is how they are. This is exactly how they are, which leads to this right here. I don't know if y'all saw this, but apparently this happened earlier today. Either it was today or just yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was today. This is in New York, outside of the federal building in New York. What do you think happens here? And of course, the person that they apprehend, Mamdani's probably going to end up going to shake his hand. Mamdani will probably go saying, are you okay? Did they rough you up too much? Probably something that they would do. But what you see here, they set off an explosive in front of the federal building. This is not by MAGA Republican. I can already tell you now without me getting all the information and all the details, because MAGA Republicans don't do stuff like this. It's only been those on the left. And the only reason why they're attacking the federal building because who's in the White House? President Donald J. Trump. These socialists want to eliminate the United States of America, and you see activity like this, and it's coming from these socialists. The socialists are not nice people. The socialists have an agenda. This is the agenda from the socialists.
Fireworks, they were really ammunition. This is serious stuff.
Yeah, I heard it when I was online, and it sounded like a hell of a lot more.
He threw them out of cocktails.
Shit.
In front of the name.
And more likely, whoever this person is, they'll probably be back out on the streets, cashless bail, doesn't matter. Marco Rubio should step in there, find out if the person here illegally, revoke their visa if they have a visa. Should step in there because they attacked the federal building. The DOJ should get involved. The FBI should get involved and say, well, this is a federal building. It becomes federal jurisdiction. You're going to go to jail because this needs to stop. And how many liberal media outlets are going to come out and talk about this? Especially when identity, if the identity ever comes out, or if the information about this person, because it didn't do major damage, apparently, right? So because it didn't do major damage, they're not going to talk about it. But if it actually blew half the side of the building up and people were ambulance everywhere, people going to the hospital, the liberal media was saying, we need to tone down the rhetoric. We need to stop the violence. But then you have people like Don Sourpuss Lemon and the rest of them calling us these trigger words to get people to react this way. That's the goal. We'll be right back.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets. Regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Falling into tribalism, to where if you don't agree with the president, it's okay to be disrespectful to the country. It's okay to be disrespectful to the Constitution and not to have civility. As a person that was a teacher, students would say things that other students didn't disagree with. I didn't say it was okay to just walk outside the classroom because we expect a certain decorum and a certain level of class and civility that we all have as Americans. And what we're seeing now with the left is because they didn't get their way, even though Barack Obama deported many people more than President Trump, even though he talked about tariffs. Now a lot of things that were common sense before they disagree with because it's politically advantageous, they think it's okay to now scream and leave the room, and we're seeing a collapse of what we just consider civility in our country.
Yes, I understand, like the civility and decorum of January 6th. That's
okay. Or we could talk about
every single time without fail, January 6th. What about the Summer of Love? $2 billion insurance claims later. What about that? What about they actually took lives during that time? But no, it's January 6th. And this is an intelligent man that's talking here, and they can't stand it. Primarily because they can't call him, I mean, they probably would like to call him racist, but they can't without looking stupid.
Many times as agents have came under attack in Minneapolis and they've done nothing about that.
Agents.
So
yes,
federal agents. Federal agents.
Right.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, agents. You hear the white dude in the background? You hear the socialists in the back? Talking about, well, they're agents. It's perfectly fine for people to attack agents. That's what he's alluding to. No, it's not fine. And how many Americans have lost their lives because of the criminals that the Democrats brought into the country? Countless. They don't even want to talk about it. They want to act like it's perfectly fine.
Masked and running around.
Right.
Okay, so I guess it's okay.
Brutalizing people who don't deserve it.
How many people have been killed that?
I'm sorry, but they do deserve it. If you're going to interfere with law enforcement activities, you do deserve it. Let me say that again. If you interfere in law enforcement activities, you deserve what you get.
How many people have been killed by illegal immigrants in this country? Does that matter?
Not that many.
You see that? In the very end, he says, it's really not that many. He goes, it's really not that many. Yeah, it's more than enough. I don't care if it was one, but it's countless times. And these Democrats, they're fighting for the criminal, the lawlessness, but they don't want to fight for the American people. The American people to them is irrelevant. Law enforcement to them is irrelevant. And that's the reason why we're seeing so many more officers right now getting attacked. That's what we're seeing it so often now. So many more. Because they've encouraged people, if you see ICE, attack them. If you see police officers, attack them. This has been the socialist Democrats encouraging people to do it because all of them have this privilege about themselves. Which, talking about privilege, I'm not going to show it because I know Kevin Smith coming up next here on LFA TV. He's going to be talking about Sunny Hostin and what happened with her baby boy. She showed up to try to protect her baby boy. So I'm not going to show it because I want Kevin to be able to watch. I want you to stick around and see what Kevin's going to say about it. But I'll just put my 2 cents in there that she believes she's entitled and she shows up trying to say you need to let him go because don't you know who I am? Don't you know who I am? I'm a former federal attorney. Don't you know who I am? I'm like, really? Talking about being entitled. Entitled brats. Talking about entitled brats. Look at this one here. Have y'all ever seen this feminist male liberal before? She's a nasty woman. I mean, right down nasty, despicable woman. And she's on here, and of course, she's having a conversation, and Scott Jennings is interjecting. And then she says something that is absolutely disgusting on the Communist News Network. And Abby, she said, okay, we're going to break. We got to change the subject here.
Cops on January 6th. Meanwhile, this guy, this should be the lead story, is clearly suffering from massive mental decline. He is out of his mind with all of the show and tell procedures that go on in the Oval Office. 2 days ago, he gave 3 press conferences in a row. And if you don't think he has dementia, let's just...
Wait a minute. I just caught on to that. She's complaining because President Trump gave 3 press conferences. And she's saying that he is having mental issues when Joe Biden couldn't give 1. Joe Biden could not give a single press conference. And she's saying that something's wrong with President Trump because he can give 3 in a single day, a coherent one at that. Dude, this is the type of stuff you can't make up.
Just discuss the time that when he was on the campaign trail that he tried to perform oral sex on a microphone. If Joe Biden did this,
I hope this is what Democrats do next year. If this is the Democratic strategy, congratulations, America. You've already reelected Republican majorities as far as the eye can see.
Yeah, because Trump's approval is in the low 30s. It's in the low 30s right now.
Coming up next for us.
Coming up next for us. Coming up next for us. You see, she wanted to get away from that really quick. The socialist Democrats are giving us a gift because they're so far gone in the drugs that they probably have done and all the other wicked things you can think about that they don't even realize. See, majority of the people in the country, not for socialism. That's why they're out there telling everybody, oh, the street lights and, first responders, all Social Security, all of that is socialism because it has the word social in it. Social programs, Social Security. Oh, that's socialism. It's not. 100% it's not. But stupid liberals out there would like for people to believe that's the case. And it's not the case at all. Not at all. And of course, the Democrats, another big thing that they're really pushing is the whole communist thing. This dude, Piker, have you heard of him? Piker, Hassan Piker. Dude is straight up communism, and he, along with AOC, Mamdani, all of them, they're changing the Democrat Party. He says he got pulled over by the police officer because he's in support of a communist. Police officers don't look at vehicles. Oh, there he supported communists and pull them over. This is how stupid they are.
By a cop who thought it was like making fun of Mao Zedong, which I never would and never will. Mao Zedong is a one of the great leaders of this world. Okay.
So he's saying that a police officer pulled him over because he was making jokes about a communist leader in the world. Does any of that sound right to you? These people are not stable. At the end of the day, what it comes down to, these people are not stable at all. There's something wrong with them. Because reality and socialism does not mix. It clashes with one another. It clashes with one another, and they don't want to have anything to do with reality. Nothing. All right, everybody, that is it for me. Kevin Smith coming up next right here on LFA TV. And again, he's going to be talking about Sunny Hostin and her baby, keeping her baby out of jail. Did it work? Was she successful? Well, y'all need to stick around and watch it right here on LFA TV. Kevin's going to bring it. Other than that, you have a blessed rest of your day. Don't go anywhere. And if you haven't, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. Let me drink my own Kool-Aid here. Hit the thumbs up and share the video. Share the video. With that said, I will see you all tomorrow right here in the Culture War.